Hello, guys. Thank you. The team spoke to me about how to kind of impart knowledge on helping, supporting, advising artists on how to basically create as much real estate for themselves and as much momentum for themselves as possible in this present modern day time. It's very challenging out there at the moment. It's like being in a forest. 60,000 songs on average being uploaded to digital platforms every day. So by the time you go through, the calendar week, you're talking about 500,000 songs. How do you find your way through that very intense landscape? One important thing that I would say at the top of our conversation is that it really is about consistency. There are lots of artists out there trying to make their way, trying to share their creative with the world, and to get in between all that and become successful. Past that and above that, you have to be consistent. The main platform seems to be these days TikTok, which is actually a bit of a anomaly to most of us who have been in the game for a while and watching a lot of these digital and social media platforms develop. TikTok has always been seen as a kind of teenage toy, but now it's definitely a discovery channel, a discovery platform. And we're in a situation where, you can find out all kinds of information and advice and do all kinds of research on TikTok. And that's separately from consistently putting out music, creating interesting kind of behind the scenes content, obviously sharing your lyrics, perhaps doing cover versions. Artwork is very important. Twitter, obviously, sharing perhaps your point of view, your style, your image. There's so many ways to share your talent and your creative. Clearly, videos to each song that you record. That's very, very important. And going back to what I said at the beginning, consistently putting out music. I think you have to sit down with your individual teams, find really good management. People are not just friends or family, but people who have actually been involved in the music industry and know what they're talking about. As far as, helping you, giving you advice, giving you direction. Of course, the best way to make it, because of the resources they have, is major labels, because of the finances and the connections. But, as you can see that from many other examples in the music industry, you don't have to go down that route. There are lots of independent platforms, independent labels that are open to signing acts. I think that professionalism, just being clear about who you are, what you want to be, being nice to people, being articulate, and knowing exactly where you want to go, where you've come from, and what you're doing in the moment. It sounds pretty simple, but actually it's something that needs to be more consistently present in an artist development. Really knowing who you are and where you want to go. Very, very important. I think that that's kind of an overview. There are some individual nuances that need to be put in place. Perhaps putting out the music a bit, maybe your main single, maybe the songs that you're most in love with, giving them space to breathe. Maybe every 3 months is a great timeline, and then in between those 3-month intervals, you work on behind the scenes content. You work on some of the other interstitial additives that I've talked about, like, showing your style, working on Twitter, working on the social media platforms, Instagram, obviously, just basically reflecting your lifestyle and who you are. It helps. Followers will come once you create interesting content for sure. And that can be dropped in between, as well as, you know, the videos. Live performance is also something that you need to work on. Just stage presence. Think about how to replicate the sound of the audio that's up for sale, as close as possible to your live set. And, you know, there are technical ways to do that, whether you run the track behind you or whether you can pull together some really succinct and professional musicians, that can help you do that and find a balance between the two. I think that in this generation, that's kind of something that you need to work on. But overall, I think you'll understand that the overarching message from me is professionalism, consistency, and working with a really good team. I think that's basically my main message.